All right, what is going on, everybody? And yes, here we are. Please bear with me. I am just finally starting to feel better. If you hear me choking on my own air tonight, it has been a fun couple of days being sick. That's for sure. Ask Mickey here. He has to work around me, and I've been like masking up, trying to avoid getting everybody around me sick.
Mm-hmm.
And then my boss asks me to come to his birthday party. You come in a mask? Yeah, that's going to make people feel real comfortable.
Yeah.
All right,
And
everybody, I brought the party favors.
and a lot of the people were like, "Oh, here, I'll give him a hug," and he's like, "No, let's not do that."
Dude, we could make so many jokes about like that whole situation with me being a mask, especially with the air quotation marks demographic of individuals that I'm around, and I'm in a mask. All right. So let's just start here, everybody. There has been a lot to talk about. We're going to have some discussions tonight. I am waiting for hopefully another friend of ours that we work with to pop in. But there is a slight chance that he may be asleep, which I'm going to give him crap tomorrow if he doesn't come in. But I wanted to have a little bit of a conversation with him, considering he's also part of the PC master race. So
yes, he is.
What is up, Pyro Mad? How you doing, good sir? And what is up, Icer03000? Thank you to both of you for joining us already. We've got a great discussion, and we've also got some follow-up discussions that we've been just talking about while not exactly being able to talk on YouTube. But moving into it, what have you been playing, Mickey? You said you started a new game.
So I've just pretty much been playing Skyrim. Of course, I always hop back into that.
I was about to say, how the fuck is that new?
No, and the other game is a game called Vampire Survivors, and it's on Game Pass.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But it's graphically, it's like old school Castlevania, like Symphony of the Night and those.
Okay.
And basically, just kill mobs of guys, get different abilities to help you do it, and last as long as you can. And it is an extremely addicting game. I've been playing the heck out of that.
I've heard a lot of people are. I've heard a lot of people talking about Vampire Survivor. I guess this game is like really good, especially if you're into old school gaming.
Mm-hmm. It's fun too. It's so addictive.
You know what? Go ahead. Just tell me what it's about, because I'm going to be honest. I've only seen people play it. I've heard people kind of talk about playing it, but.
Well, that's it. It's basically you kill mobs of monsters. You try to last as long as you can. As the time keeps going, it kind of picks up a bit more, and you get to the point to where there's just mobs all over the screen, and you just hope that the abilities that you upgraded and stuff will keep them at bay or kill them fast enough to where they're not killing you. But you can get like little health things too to bring your life back, and other little things in the game that will help you. So it's a really, really fun and, like I said, addictive game. So
okay. Well, you're not gonna believe this. I got cut out for a second because somebody decided to join. Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope you don't mind, but all right. On this show, we kind of go first name basis, because at this point, it's what we've been doing. So obviously, you know who we are, everybody. This is Jacob, and he is part of the PC Master Race, and he has decided to join us console peasants for the night down in the pig pen.
Pretty much, yeah.
and
No, I'm just
Yes,
playing.
and that's where I always get to mess around with him because he's actually the one that helped me fix my PC when I needed to have somebody come over and help me spread thermal paste on my CPU.
And take a cooler out of my closet.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is still the only person I know. You go to his house and be like, I need components for my PC. And he opens a closet door and he starts like selecting stuff like it's a freaking drug deal. And it's just like, well, I got this and I got that. And
Yeah. Except it's all old, dusty drugs.
All right. Oh, we got Mr. Glass in the chat. Good evening. I am playing Stalker 2 and in between swearing a lot, I'm having fun. I need to play Stalker 2. I know it just went into Game Pass. I also still need to play the original Stalkers. And Pyro Mad says I'm freezing. He's freezing upper body parts off. He says he's re 100%ed Vampire Survivors 4 times due to DLC. It's video game crack. Once you start, you're hooked for life.
He's not kidding.
Have you played Vampire Survivors, Jacob?
Yeah. I got like 30 hours in it or something.
Okay, so I'm the only chump here that has not tried it. Okay, well, we all know where I stand.
It's pretty good.
Mickey said he's been playing Skyrim, Vampire Survivor, and what else?
Those are pretty much the main 2 games I've been playing.
What happened to Avatar? I was on the headset with you when you bought it.
Yeah, and I played it for a few, and then I found this game, and I haven't been able to put it down. So,
well, just to give the crowd a taste of what, Mr. Glass says he's also played it, and I've got all the DLC. So I guess I gotta shape up and I guess play. I guess I gotta get over my little hurdle of like, oh, but the graphics. Well, actually, we've also been playing Starship Troopers Extermination.
That's true. That's true.
Which is playing on the screen right now. Like, I bought it. I wanted to check it out. I ended up getting it for Mickey, and I dragged Mickey and his kid into it. And now I'm also trying to drag Jacob into it because there's crossplay. And yeah, I'm going to say right now, I'm a little surprised at just how fun the game is. I was worried that it was actually going to be just like a trash ripoff, but I feel like they kind of really nailed at least the essence of what the movies were all about. Just the insanity that can ensue in matches, how the bugs attack your bases and destroy the walls and bunkers. And you get to sometimes rebuild your fortifications in between waves. Other times the computer just wants to be a dick and just not ever give you a moment to breathe, and you don't have a chance in hell.
Which is most times.
Yes. But I mean, it's actually good, just mindless fun, just going in. And the funny part is, even though you're like, oh, I've been on this planet before, we haven't really had a match that feels like we played that match before. It feels like every match is relatively different, especially with how all the modifiers change and how the list updates about, I think every couple of hours it changes the modes up and stuff like that. So it just really, in my opinion, you don't get the same match twice, which is actually really good, because a lot of times with a lot of multiplayer games, it definitely feels like a lot of rinse and repeat. But so Jacob, let's get a taste for everybody. Let's tell us what you play and what have you been playing.
All PC games.
All of them. Every single one
Pretty
of them.
Pretty much, yeah. Factorio. I've been playing Skyrim, but I've been playing it modded. And then Halls of Torment is actually it's exactly like Vampire Survivors with better graphics, kind of. And I've been playing that, and it's just kind of like the same game, but it's only for PC, I think. Halls of Torment.
Dang. Oh, okay.
Yeah. What else? I mean, Borderlands 2. I've been playing that. And then probably the only other game I've been playing is other than Helldivers for the Forever Winter, which That
Hmm.
is that's a pretty cool game too, but I think it's only on PC.
Well, geez,
So
only on.
He's kind of
He's
throwing
like
those jabs in
reassuring
there. He's like,
everything. He's
but
like
it's
only on
PC.
PC,
Yeah,
only
but it's
on
only on
PC.
well, I just say that
Exclusive to
because it's like
PC.
it's like whoever's watching on console, just don't even look it up. You're just gonna be like, oh man.
Now you're telling me to play Factorio. You've been telling me to play Factorio. What is that?
Oh yeah, you want to, dude? You want to talk about whoever said crack? Yeah, that's Factorio, dude. It's just I don't even know what you call it. It's like a base builder, but it's like automation base builder. What else could you say? Basically, the whole
Is that
premise
only
is like,
PC?
yeah, the whole
Okay.
premise is you land on a planet. You like crash land on a planet with your ship with like a couple materials. You got to get the materials like Minecraft until you build like a furnace, and then you can eventually build your way up to like making an arm to put the raw materials into that furnace, and then you put that stuff coming out of the furnace into an assembling machine, and then you have your product, and then you like basically just build these things called science packs that let you build more and more materials, like unlock them until you get off the planet. And they just came out with a DLC for that, so that's why I've been playing it.
Interesting.
But yeah, that game is great.
And that's the one you're telling me to play, but it's only on PC, right? Exclusive to PC.
Yeah, but you could play it on like a laptop. It's like it's like super well optimized. Probably one of the most optimized games I've ever played.
So why is it not on console? What the hell?
I think they're trying to make it on console, actually. I'm not sure. They just came out with their like DLC. It's like they've been working on it for like 4 years or something like that.
Well,
so they might start working on a PC to console port now.
So I guess before we do get into the conversation, which you're here to have fun with, hence the thumbnail, if anybody caught my cute and cuddly thumbnail. So I'm sorry, I had to do it. I was just like, I just had this idea walking around. I'm like, I'm going to fucking do it. So speaking of PCs, something popped up on Steam, and I'm curious on if Jacob actually picked up on this one. So this article just came out, and it was featured by GamesRadar.com. And let me pull up my notes real quick on it. So, a mysterious update to the Steam files for some of the delisted Activision games has sparked speculation about their potential return. Although these games remain unavailable for purchase, the update adds new store screenshots suggesting that something might be happening behind the scenes. So 7 delisted games were updated on Steam, and they were popular Activision titles that revolved around that. You'll see how they're going here. Deadpool, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, Transformers Fall of Cybertron, Transformers War for Cybertron, and Transformers Devastation. The updates were logged on November 14th, 2024, and added new screenshots for the games, and it says Steam files. Despite the updates, the store pages for these games remain invisible, leaving fans unable to view the screenshots. But that's where it's like, that's where they're saying the possible implications show that changes could hint a potential re-release or other developments, though there's no official confirmation. And I know that there is a lot of people that really would like to see these games relisted. I happen to own a couple of them. When I come across them, like out and about in the wild at some of the retro gaming stores, if I come across one of the titles, I'll pick it up. I know I've got Transformers, War for Cybertron, and Fall of Cybertron, and oh my freaking god, I think I also have like Earthspark and also Deadpool. So I've picked up a couple of them. I don't know, like Jacob, do you play any of those games, or do you not care about the Marvel stuff?
I like all the Spider-Man games. That'd be cool to see the Shattered Dimensions thing. I think I played that on 360 when I had it.
Oh yeah, and that, by the way, just so people know, Jacob here used to play on Xbox, but apparently something angered him during the Xbox 360 era, and he decided to just, I guess, go. according to Jacob, what he told me is he went from Xbox 360 to PS4 and apparently said fuck it and went to PC.
Pretty much, yeah.
But what do you guys think about this? Do you think they can bring back these delisted games? I mean, with Microsoft now the proud owners of Activision, does anybody think this is possible, or is this just like a fluke? I mean, have you seen stuff like this happen before on Steam, Jacob, where they just kind of like update some screenshots and that's all it is?
Yeah. There's actually a website called Steam Tracker that you can see like every delisted game on the site, and they like make updates to them all the time. It's kind of weird, but if they made updates to like all those games, they might bring them back possibly. Like I know Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is delisted. Like stuff like that. Games that they'll release them for like half a second and then people will wish list them. And then once it's in your wish list, like it'll be always like trackable on Steam. They won't remove it. But they might bring them back. Yeah, it's a possibility for sure. They have a bunch of delisted games. Every company does.
Dude, I mean,
the two Marvel ones that, because we used to play those, Phil. The Marvel.
you played
one and two.
You played Ultimate Alliance. I listened to you play.
Yes, Ultimate Alliance. Yeah. Oh, you didn't?
Nope.
Ultimate Alliance was awesome.
The first MMO I dipped my toe into the pool with and got stuck in was Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That one, that 1 and 2. Those are both really, really pretty fun games. So, if they did bring those back, I would most certainly pick those. Get those. The other ones I haven't played though, so I don't know much about those. Like Deadpool and those ones.
Welcome, Adidas 20. What is up to you, good sir? Yes. I've actually been chatting with Mr. Adidas on Twitter a little bit, or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, he's actually a really great person to talk to about physical media. He's actually shown me some of the photos of some of his physical media, and he's revealed to me that he's a big Sega fan, and it's actually been really great chatting with him. And he's even been sending me links to some physical media sites to really kind of help me find more and more physical media, because I don't know, man. I found myself constantly going to a place called Zia Records here in town, and I will buy like older titles. Like just the other day, I picked up Killer Clowns from Outer Space because I've never seen it, and I was just like, "What the hell? I'm gonna check this out."
Love Zia Records.
Huh?
I love Zia Records.
Oh, dude, every time I go to Zia Records, I pretty much feel like I got to leave my wife at home because I'll spend like an hour perusing the entire damn store. And dude, I like the fact that at least the one that's over here on Thunderbird in the 17, they actually rotate some of their stock out pretty damn quickly. Like, I've been trying since the beginning of October to pick up Terrifier, the original Terrifier, because my wife wanted to check it out. And I haven't been able to find it. And then lo and behold, whatever fucking reason, in the middle of November, they have a copy of Terrifier 1 pop up, and it happened to be a new copy. So I was like, okay, I won't complain about that.
That's that clown one, right?
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to make Pennywise look like child's play. Not the movie, but like actually physically make Pennywise the clown look like they says it's like on the box it says makes Pennywise the clown look like Krusty the Clown. So there's that.
Alrighty then.
But I also I've never seen this. I'm probably gonna get slack for this in the chat. I've also never seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World, so I picked up that one. Oh. Okay.
I've never seen it either, but I have it.
Does anybody remember?
I bought it for my girlfriend.
Does anybody remember Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen?
Nope.
Jesus. Okay, well, see, that's what I mean. I'm over here like I'm like living off retro movies. But all right.
This is old.
Huh?
This is old.
What is old?
Galaxy Quest.
Oh yes, very old. Sigourney Weaver, Tim Allen, and I forget the guy who played them, but the actor also played Severus Snape in Harry Potter. And like, I mean, there was actually a fair amount of named actors in this movie. And I was actually really shocked. I was just like, holy cow, freaking, like, I don't see, like, to me, it's like a little bit of a cult classic. It kind of like plays a little bit of fun on Star Trek and kind of like made it look like, you know, what if all the members of the Star Trek Enterprise, the actors of the actual show, the original Star Trek show, had a lot of animosity and were constantly arguing with each other and like throwing like insults at each other. And that's pretty much what Galaxy Quest starts off at. And it's funny as hell. Oh, Mr. Glass said he watched Galaxy Quest the other day. Oh, thank God. Thank God I'm not the only one. Alan Reichman. There we go. Pyro came in with the save. Alan Reichman. And also for a lot of people, they don't realize, but Alan Reichman was also Hans Gruber in the original Die Hard movie with the Yakasami Towers or whatever. I mean, like that dude had a wide range as an actor, and it was one of those moments where when I found out that he had passed, that I was like, dude, that sucks, because I mean, to do comedies, to Harry Potter, and I mean, like, to also be the main bad guy in Die Hard just shows the range that he could do, and he pulled off every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, yes, Sanchez Gaming comes in. Just remember, Xbox is number one. Oh, Xbox is number one. Trust me, that's Jacob's probably going to be like, "Oh God, here we go." Well, technically, Jacob, you play on you play on Windows, so technically you're still in the same pocket I am. You're just I'm on the right hand pocket. You're in the left hand pocket.
According to Microsoft, it's an Xbox.
I know.
So.
All right, we got Pyro. About a month or two ago, there was also an ESRB update for Transformer Cybertron games too. So there's plenty of evidence they could be relicensed as piling up. Oh, I mean, if they're going back through the ESRB process, that's you know what the ESRB process is? Either one of you?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. It's where they go in.
That's just like where they get the rating, right?
Where they re-rate the game. Yeah. And we also like probably for relicensing, I could see why they would want to do that. I'm pretty sure Deadpool is definitely going to keep its mature rating. That's for sure. If you guys haven't played that game, I mean, that game is, holy cow, that game could be raunchy.
Played it.
Oh, Alan Rickman. Sorry, Rickman. Okay, now I'm being corrected. I told you I'm bad with names. Plus Hasbro
what were you saying, Reichman?
Well, he's saying it's Rickman.
Okay.
But also, because the Pyro already admitted that he's in the UK. Over here in the United States, it's aluminum. Over in the UK, it's aluminium. There's an extra I in the UK. Don't explain to me how that works. So also Pyro earlier said, plus Hasbro during the ABK acquisition process expressed being reopened to relicensing for IP. And guess what, guys? Me and Mickey were talking about this at work, and I think Jacob may have been in the room. Hasbro is being sued by their investors for misleading investors into thinking that sales were better than they were. And basically they were stockpiling plenty of product out there. And apparently sales are down and there was no reason to be stockpiling. So it looks like Hasbro is going to be in a position where they're going to have to unload a lot of product. I'm really hoping to get my hands on the Green Ranger Power Ranger dagger from back in the day that Hasbro came out. I'm hoping that finally they'll come off their high horse and lower the price on that damn thing. But yes, Hasbro is being sued by their investors. So there's going to be some turbulent times at Hasbro. So I am pretty sure they are more than willing to license some shit right now.
I wonder how that'll affect Magic.
I'm kind of curious what's going to happen like with Hasbro, because apparently they hid the fact that sales were down. They fooled investors into thinking that sales were good, and now they're being dragged into court. And this is like what me and Mickey were talking about. Like, so check this out. When you buy a product, whether it's a toy or a game console, you are a consumer. Yes, you actually should share some importance in that, in the survival of that company. But at the same time, there's nothing to really protect you as a consumer from that business making decisions that basically benefit you. But when you're an investor, you have these federal laws that basically make it to where these companies now have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure they don't make a bad investment or squander your money and blah blah blah. And that is exactly what Hasbro did with investor money. And apparently they are now being dragged into a class action lawsuit with all their investors for basically misappropriation of funds and not disclosing accurate information. So that's going to be interesting for Hasbro. That's a little bit of a Pyro, the dragon sword, but let's also get this straight. So the Green Ranger actually carried a dagger in the beginning, which was the dragon dagger. And then the character, when he was upgraded to the White Ranger, then carried a sword, which was a total different sword that had like the Sphinx head on the end of it. Because when I was a little kid, I had that damn thing and I carried it everywhere. I was a big fan of the actor that played both the Green Ranger and the White Ranger. And yeah, that was also another one when you found out that that actor had basically, an unexpected end to his life due to some circumstances that are regrettable. It really did suck to find out about that. It was kind of like one of those things where I really looked up to that guy as a kid, and then to find out that happened. All that money that Hasbro made from the Barbie movie is about to get drained on court fees. Oh, dude, they just need to get Will Ferrell in there. Did either of you watch the Barbie movie?
No.
Oh, God.
I think Tiff watched it, and I kind of watched it alongside. I wasn't watching it completely, but I saw parts of it, and I was like,
I took my wife.
Okay.
My wife wanted to go see it, and she thought I would never take her to go see it, and I surprised her, and I took her to the theater to go see it, and I laughed my ass off. Ryan Gosling was funny as hell. Freaking Will Ferrell totally still has it, at least in that movie. I mean, that movie was funny as shit.
Yeah, the only reason I would watch it is for Ryan Gosling.
Oh, dude. Like, I actually have a pillow running around in this house that basically says Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Hey, Jacob, when you said Hasbro, what that would affect Magic, are you talking about Magic the Gathering?
Yeah.
Oh God.
What do they do? What do they have as far as like a part in Magic the Gathering?
Aren't they like the
They're
publisher
the owners
of the cards?
Yeah, they're like the owners of Magic. It's Wizards of the Coast, and then they're like the publisher. But Wizards of the Coast makes up like, I don't even know how many percent of their income. It's a lot though.
Yeah, I was gonna say because
like out of all of Hasbro, it's like 20 or 30%, something like that.
I love Magic, so
I just love watching the card openings on YouTube. I don't really play it, but oh, dude,
I'll fun.
Watch card opening videos for about 3 hours a day.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow, I just feel like I learned something about Jacob I didn't even know. I'm like, so you watch people
Magic's fun as shit. That's another thing that's really addictive.
So you're telling me I have spent hours editing videos on my channel over the years, and all I have to do is sit there and open cards?
Yeah, if you got like 20 or 30 grand, yeah.
Oh, I don't got 20 or 30 grand. If I had 20 or 30, if I had 20, 30 or 20, 30 grand, I mean,
that must be a lot of fucking cards.
If I had 20, 30 grand, there wouldn't be fucking curtains in the background to hide my tiny ass apartment.
No, it's not. You could make the new ones, but I like the older pack series cards. Like those ones are just cool. I find them more interesting, but they're just super expensive.
Oh wow, I am so sorry, Pyro. I didn't know about that. He says the white tiger saber, the dagger was for some reason called the dragon sword here, at least in the UK. But then again, in the 90s, Ninja was too violent for kids, so we had Hero Turtles. So fun.
What?
How I know it's so crazy. So actually, I just bought the original entire series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 90s. And I've been having fun watching that at night, falling asleep to it and just like reliving my youth watching, Shredder, the Technodrome, Krang, and all the other fun stuff that came out of that series. But I do remember in the 90s when Power Rangers came out and it was all over the news that kids were becoming violent because of Power Rangers. But I think it's interesting how they hopscotch from one thing to another. Like it was first it was cartoons, then we got the Power Rangers. Fast forward to 2024, now it's Grand Theft Auto. And I just like, I always think that they're always like looking to point the finger at just how violent like television shows can be, but they never ever want to take a 5-second look at just how violent the actual daily news can be.
Dude, I was just watching the news tonight actually, and I couldn't believe like half the like stories on there, dude.
So here's what, like, Mickey, Jacob, you're going to think this is crazy as shit. There was a news agency. I would have to look it up. And it was one of those things where you watch videos about, just random shit that makes you a plethora of useless information. And there was a news agency here in the United States that actually tried to be the positive news agency where all they would report on is positive news. Do you know what happened to them?
Went bankrupt? I don't know.
Yep, exactly. Isn't that screwed up?
Yeah, kind of. What is that? They got one on YouTube. This month's news without the bullshit or something like that. Let me see if there's still a thing.
Well,
yeah, they got 600K subs. They're pretty cool. I like those guys.
Dude, I just feel like sometimes I just need to start a YouTube channel where all I do is like do like monologue on like cat and dog videos, and I'll just like be rolling in it.
Pretty much, yeah. Shorts, YouTube shorts. That's how you'll get there.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. So by the way, before we move on to why Jacob is here, because he's already been like frothing at the mouth to probably talk about it. So here's the reason, like, let's just kind of lead up to, what is an Xbox? So for people that don't realize, Xbox has now introduced the ability for Game Pass Ultimate subscribers to Steam selected games that they already own via the cloud, expanding its cloud ecosystem. This feature is currently limited to only 50 games and does not yet include support for streaming on Xbox consoles or the Xbox PC app, although broader functionality is expected. They're saying maybe later in 2024, but I would not be surprised if that bled over to 2025. And so like now it's only 50 titles. Only 50 titles are supported, including popular games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. There's also some other ones in there, notable ones that are like Hades, the Final Fantasy series 1 through 6, Star Wars Outlaws, and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I already feel like this is a little bit of a move now. This is something about me and Jacob were talking about, I think earlier today or yesterday. If I was to eventually move to PC, that move would be facilitated a lot easier if Xbox made it to where all 900 and some of the games that I own on my damn Xbox would come with me, because it does become difficult to say I'm going to uproot where I play games and move to this new ecosystem and not have access to the games I already put money into. And I really feel like, at least I feel really happy about the fact that Xbox is trying to make it to where there's a little bit more cohesiveness on where my library is available. and the ability for me to play games on the go or wherever it is that I'm at that time. Like Mickey, how do you feel about that? Especially if it makes it to where you can start playing more titles. Like, I mean, me and you have been talking about wanting to get like a handheld. Xbox is talking about making a handheld all of a sudden, but according to Phil Spencer, he's saying that it's still, at least in his words, years away. But I know you could go out right now and we could get like into the Legion Go, the Rogue Ally. Jacob here has a Steam Deck, and I know through some like switching around in the Steam Deck, you can also play like Game Pass titles and Xbox titles and Epic Game Store titles. But I mean, what do you guys feel like on this move on Xbox starting to make it to where people with established library of games being able to potentially take advantage of that library of games on other platforms?
Well, honestly, I will eventually get a PC because Tiff wants one too, and I'm just gonna get a PC. I'm gonna keep my Xbox. I'm gonna keep getting the whatever next series of Xbox they have. I'm gonna get a PlayStation. I'm gonna have all the systems, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'll be able to play anything. So it's cool that that they're making stuff accessible for people who don't necessarily do that. Cough, cough, Jacob. But I'm gonna have. I'm eventually. I want to get all the systems, so I'll be able to play anything that I want. So, I mean,
See,
it's cool for them, but
I have to agree with you on that. That was like one of those things where I jokingly said, I'm like, oh no, I'm a hardcore gamer. And to me, I was like, I don't
that's
care.
what we are. Yeah.
I don't care what game it is or what platform it's on. If I want to play it, I'll fucking go out of my way to do it. And like I still have not forked out the money for a VR headset, but I mean like that Batman Arkham Shadows and then Vader Immortal. There's a couple VR games that have really made me think like, do I want to get into VR? But I also just still am very trepidatious over like, I feel like you could wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden like that news article, oh, VR's done.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They got.
What do you
I
think?
got an
Maybe?
index. I don't know.
What's an
I
index?
think it's Valve's VR headset.
Okay,
it's a couple years old.
I know. I heard about the Valve. I knew Valve made one. I just didn't know it was called the Index.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's all right. It was like $1,000. I wouldn't pay $1,000 again for it. It like completely fucks my eyesight up. So that's just a personal problem. But I don't like it, VR. But like when I think with the Apple stuff, the AR, like that's definitely gonna stay. That won't die out ever. I don't think. VR, it just has too many companies like trying to really move into that. For it to die.
I feel like there's a lot of companies that are willing to make hardware for VR, but I feel like the companies that are willing to make actual decent software like games and other stuff for it are few and far between. Is that like a wrong opinion?
I mean, at least on PC, there's a lot of VR stuff going on. But like I said, it's mostly like AR stuff. The AR is like kind of blown up because you get like all the shade, like the AR shades and like the Apple thing. I don't even know what the Apple thing is, but it's like $7,000. But that's
Yeah, I've
AR.
seen
It's
them.
not really VR. Yeah, it's crazy,
Crap.
but it looks pretty
apparently.
nuts. Like if I had $7,000, I'd probably buy it to just blow. I'd definitely get it. It looks pretty cool. If I was just rich, yeah, I'd buy it.
If I was rich, I'd buy it. If I was an eccentric millionaire.
Pretty much, yeah.
And we got Pyro chatting in saying, I'm chatting in on here on an Xbox Samsung phone. And that he also says, I love that our owned games are becoming playable via cloud, and it's great for future compatibility. And for the people playing via smart TV or Fire Stick, it allows them to purchase games without dedicated hardware. And like, I've even wanted to think about getting into the Fire Stick thing just because I want to bring like, that's why I'm like debating. To me, the debate is, do I get a Fire Stick and take it with me wherever we go, hoping there's an internet signal for me to play a video game? or do I get like a rogue ally and just download my game to that rogue ally? And so that way, the only thing I have to do is use the hotspot on my cell phone for the digital check-in. But because the game is physically downloaded to the hardware, I don't have to worry about chewing up my data on my hotspot. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think the data thing is like actually a really good point on that one, because streaming a game is not.
Well, I
data
remember I was part of the xCloud beta program, and and I remember I was in a small little podunk freaking casino here in Arizona, in the town where my mother-in-law lives, because me and my wife were there, I think visiting for the holidays, and I tapped into their Wi-Fi, and I was streaming Netflix in the room just fine, and Discovery Plus. But when I clicked on that Xbox app and I started trying to stream, I think it was like a Hitman game. Oh my God. It was like, dude, like you couldn't even play it. You couldn't. And like at that point, I was just like, all right, this doesn't feel like it's going to work well. And that's the only thing. Like, I still feel more comfortable with having a device that would allow me to physically download the game and take it with me, because I, like we're talking about the town that my mother-in-law lives in. I think right now they just got internet that could like punch at 100 megabits a second, while Mickey over here is like grinding down a T1 line.
I think I got 800 megabits.
Wow. Okay. So everybody show me the size of your megabit, because I'm only so let's get this straight. Centurion, aka Phil, is over here at 500. Jacob's at 800, and Mickey is at like what, 1500?
I think I've hit 11, like
Okay.
1.1.
But you're at full gigablast.
Correct.
Pretty good.
Mr. Glass is making me want to check out Stalker 2, because he's in the chat. He's just like, Stalker 2 is freaking awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out. Did you ever play the original Stalker games, Jacob? Because I know they were used to like PC, and they just got brought to console earlier this year.
I think I played Call of Pripyat. Yeah, I got 3 hours on it, but that was last played in 2021. I think I pirated it on accident from like Dead. What is it called?
How do you pirate on accident? Oh, sorry, I accidentally stole.
Well, it's called what is that website? I think it's called like Deadware or something like that. If basically, if it's kind of like where Fallout 3 was, it was like unplayable on Windows 10 until like the community brought it back, and then you can't, you got to play like the patched version. So that's why. And then they patched on Steam, and then I could play it.
I used to be one of those that would cast shade on people that would pirate shit. But ever since like this whole thing of if I don't own it, it's not piracy came up, I'm just like, you know what? More power to you, man. More power to you, because I actually, the whole idea of like, well, if you buy it, you don't own it, but you're not allowed to pirate it. My ass.
Yeah, I eventually bought it, so they got their money's worth. But Stalker Gamma is the last Stalker I played. It's just a highly modified version. That was pretty cool.
So Pyro just chimed in. Last year, cost of living crisis hit so hard, I couldn't afford to run my console with xCloud and a tablet. I put 1,200 hours into gaming. xCloud has improved immensely from 2020. Oh, I'm pretty sure it has. I still remember when Phil Spencer said, "Would you release it like that?" Like when they were like, "How come you haven't released xCloud to the public yet? Would you release it like that?" Even Phil Spencer no, that shit janky.
Yeah, that's alpha.
Yeah.
But when they released it, it was like I don't know, it was like working but had crazy input lag or something like that. Is that what was going on?
Dude, I yes. So when when it came out, I actually, one of the first games I played was Halo Infinite, and that was here in my actual apartment where I know I have really damn good internet, and I also network. I did Cisco networking at one time when I was younger, so I really know how to actually network computers. There was no connection problem between my phone and the Wi-Fi, but I ended up actually having to dial up the sensitivity to basically to counteract the input lag from the controller to the phone. I had to dial up the sensitivity because when it was on normal, you could move that controller and probably count to like 2 seconds before the character would start to turn.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
horrible. I
Like,
think my friend was trying to play Skate 3 when that came out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's really good, it's really good." And then I think I tried it, and I don't know, and I just remember input lag is the only creeping memory.
Now, I mean, like, just so I have it here in the back, everybody. I bought the Razer controller that your phone goes into for xCloud. I went in. I'll go get it off the entertainment center behind me. It unfolds and your phone snaps into it, and it plugs directly into the phone, and it gives you an interface that way. And that really killed a lot of the lag issues by having a hardware solution versus using a controller through a Bluetooth connection. And when I did that, I remember, ask Mickey, I had to go show up to work one morning at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to let some cook in because he was catering for a work event. And I was the only everybody wants to eat for free and party, but I was the only one that would volunteer to get up at that time in the morning and unlock the door for the catering guy to come in and start roasting, because they were having a giant pig roasted. And so they had to do it there, and he had to start at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So it'd be ready by noon.
I was there for that.
Yes. And I basically played Elder Scrolls Online through xCloud. And actually I was actually having a very decent experience. And I definitely will say it makes a difference when you go from trying to use a controller through Bluetooth to actually putting your phone in like what they like the backbone or other devices that they make that connect into the USB port on the bottom of the phone. But all right, I guess since we're into this, Mickey, did you see the ad? I sent it to you in your DM on X.
No, I still haven't. I still forgot to go look at your messages on X. My bad. Sorry.
I put a message in there, everybody, that said if Mickey checked his DM before the show, I'd give him $1,000. So we all know who's not getting $1,000.
Oh, shoot.
So Xbox recently released an ad that has everybody kind of like, some people think it was like, Xbox woke up and chose violence. Other people feel like Xbox woke up and like shit in their Wheaties. Best way I could say it. So they released an ad, Mickey, where it shows these green and black tiles, where it shows a picture of an Xbox Series X, and then it says, this is an Xbox. And then it shows a laptop, and it says, this is an Xbox for your laptop. Then it shows the device we talked about, like a Rogue Ally. And then it shows a picture of a cat box. And it shows all these different versions of an Xbox, but there's also some like chideful fun in there where they show a picture of a cat box and a bento box. But they show that Xbox is a console, it's a laptop, it's a handheld, it's on TVs, it's on cell phones, it's on Fire Sticks, it's on VR devices, and then they cap it off with an Xbox Series S. But basically, they're trying to show the masses that no matter where you go, you have access to the Xbox ecosystem.
Right.
And so, I mean, like, Xbox is apparently out here like Oprah Winfrey. You get an Xbox, you have an Xbox, you have an Xbox. I thought it was funny. I kind of chidefully chuckled at it. I even put out a tweet on X where I thought it was interesting, where we all remember when we were younger, when we would go to our friend's house and I had a Nintendo at home. The guy across the street had an Xbox, had a PC. The chick across the street from him had a Sega. And it just went on from there where we all jokingly said like, oh man, it sucks that you can't play this game. Back in the day, it sucks you can't play this game, or it sucks that I can't take this game with me on this road trip because I'm going to be stuck in this damn car and it's going to take 4 hours for my freaking parents to drag my ass to Disneyland. And it'd be great if I could play a video game with that 4-hour drive.
No, they did. The Game Boy.
Well, okay, the Game Boy, but the Game Boy was revolutionary. Why? Because you could take your game with you. Or how about the Sega Game Gear? Let's take a throwback back there for Mr. Adidas in the chat. The Sega Game Gear. You know, what about that one? So, well, hold on, let me reset. But we all back in the day would be like, oh man, I wish you could play this game. It sucks you can't play it. And I wish I could take it with me. And it sucks I can't play it. Fast forward to 2024. Here we are where we've got Jacob in the chat, totally Jacob on the show, reminding us that it's a PC exclusive. We see people constantly with their list wars on social media about I can play this and you can't play that. And also, apparently, the ability for you to be able to take your video games with you and play them on other devices and have a little bit more convenience for the money that you spend, because video games can be god-awful expensive. Heaven forbid you're able to play that game on other platforms. You need to be locked down. Where is it that we have, like, turned into this entire craziness that apparently it's horrible for you to be able to play your games on more than one platform, and it's an absolute trash bag dumpster fire that anybody can enjoy the same game that you do on a different platform?
A while ago.
It's all the PC Master Race's fault, Jacob. You helped fuel this. No, I'm playing. I'm joking.
I like being able to. Well, okay, so the way I look at it is, on PC we get everything at this point, so it's like, yeah, I think they should. I don't know about exclusives, but I do like the idea that PC will get it a year later, and like I think it should probably be the same on both consoles. If you have an exclusive on Xbox, Sony gets it a year later. If Sony has an exclusive, you get the exclusive for a year, and then it goes to Xbox and PC. I think it's a great idea.
So you're not against timed exclusives, but you're just totally up to the idea of like, hey, it's not horrible for games to go elsewhere.
No, yeah, I think they should go everywhere. I think if you want an exclusive, a year is perfect time, because like at least the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is already out, I'm pretty sure, or like Spider-Man 2 or whatever it's called. But like PC doesn't have it, so it's like it's a good way to get it's kind of a good way to like pad out your sales too. I feel like it's probably a better idea releasing it somewhere where they haven't had it and they've been watching gameplay and they're like hyped to play it, and you get kind of like a boost in numbers after that too, after a year. And it doesn't really cost you anything extra if you already developed it for that title,
Yeah, so
yeah, that makes sense. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and there's like a little bit of an article that I had to kind of fuel this, but by the way, Jacob, we try to interact with everybody in the chat here, because no super chats or Patreons here. You exist just because you're taking time out of your day. So Mike chimed in saying that the Halo servers are terrible. I haven't played Halo Infinite in a while, so I know Halo can be like a roller coaster. 1 minute it's up, next minute it's down. I think Sanchez just finally figured out that, yes, we call him Mickey, but just to point out everybody, Mickey is actually like 6.5 feet tall, and he's built like a damn linebacker. And he is, we'll just say it, like, he comes off as a very jolly, friendly guy, but if you piss him off, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that. No.
I'll have your sorry ass in a sling.
Oh my God. Mickey's going to be picking you up at work, walking around, be like, where'd you want me to put Jacob?
Yeah, over his shoulder.
I'll put him up on a shelf right now.
Yeah.
And just, if you guys haven't figured it out, the three of us all work together. So, I mean, like, how's that for chemistry and camaraderie? Like we act, not only do we know who we are, but we even work together. So also, so Pyro says, I fully completed Like a Dragon, Gaiden, and Yakuza 6. Only issue, there was a little bit of rare screen tearing, and latency wasn't an issue for a real-time brawler. Yeah, definitely. I know, like, I really want to get more and more into taking games with me, but then I also worry about, God, I know these two would find me in a corner somewhere at work, probably playing a video game, and then I did get called out for that.
Well, I've heard you yell about people that were on their phones playing games before.
Well, dude,
and you don't want to be the guy that
I don't want to be the guy. But here's the thing: I can understand if somebody's like, I don't know how I'd feel if somebody's like, oh, I got to play this round of Halo, and I'd be like, oh, that's cool, you're playing Halo. But no, what do we catch people doing with their phones, guys? They're on DraftKings betting on football games. They're playing slot machine. They're gambling their paychecks away. And then it's just like, no wonder you motherfuckers walk around talking about being broke.
Yeah, and then they're mopey too. They'll lose like $400, half of their check, and then they'll be mopey for the next like 5 days, and they won't get no work done. I can't believe
I lost $400 on my cell phone slot machine.
Yeah, please then the very next check, dude, they're
please
fucking
tell me
on
that
it
was
again.
Fake money. No, that was my real. That was I hooked up to my debit card.
That was my check. Do you have any savings? No, I gambled it away.
And then they go bum cigarettes off each other.
Yeah, for 50 cents a piece.
I can't afford cigarettes this week. I lost it on a slot machine. I'm gonna go get it from one of the other guys.
Oh
the
my
fact
god!
That actually happens is just so crazy.
Oh my god! I told everybody, I was like, dude, if I could, I would put one of those machines in there that dispenses scratcher tickets. Except for I would have a search.
Oh my god, that thing would make fucking bank.
Dude, I would tell him I want there to be a surcharge though. I want to get 25 cents for every ticket that's sold out of that machine. Guaranteed, we'd make some money on it no matter what.
Oh my god.
You'd
create a monster too, though.
Dude,
no kidding.
They'd be all over the place.
It'd be like that one guy working there again, where there was just scratcher tickets everywhere.
It'd be like finding sodas, except you're finding scratching tickets everywhere. The way you find a spray in our place, there'd just be a stack of lottery tickets.
Dude, yeah, you'd go in the tire box and you'd find out that somebody like just blew like $100 on $5 scratcher tickets, and they're everywhere. You're just like, what the? Okay,
dude, they'd all be stacked on Jacob's toolbox.
Yeah,
no, it'd be worse. His toolbox would be covered in the scratcher dust.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it'd be all in the drawers. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what would happen. That's actually a great point.
Jacob gets mad because he keeps catching a certain employee eating their lunch on his toolbox, and he leaves crumbs.
This is on a $5,000 toolbox, by the way. It's Snap-on toolbox.
Yes,
so I understand.
Yeah, I got on him about it.
So
he's been kind of off of it. I mean, he still piles his shit on top of
it. I notice it's like his lunchbox goes up there, like it's not even
every
yours.
Day. It's the first thing he drops on it.
Sanchez definitely stirring the pot though by saying even the PS5 is an Xbox when they buy and play Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on there. The Sega Game Gear, you needed about 100 AA batteries if you wanted to play on a 4-hour. Yeah, you'd have to pack a lunchbox full of battery. I remember that thing. It was just like, dude, that was the Sega Game Gear. I'm here to eat the batteries.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, and Mr. Glass came in saying he played Halo Infinite for 6 hours today and they were fine. So, you know what? That's where, I've also, I know Lemon 108 Dragons plays a lot of Halo Infinite, and he's always talked about how fire the game is. I know for a lot of people, I definitely want to say, like, at least if you are having issues playing an online game, some of these companies will publish their ports online for you to open some of these ports through your router. Like, I've solved like people's connection issues for playing Destiny by just showing them how to go into their router and open a few ports for Xbox Live and the Activision servers at the time, and it totally cleared up all the issues. So sometimes it has to do with like a port issue or a ping issue. and there's like little tricks that you can do to like to improve your connection. And sometimes it even, you know, going to a better DNS server, which is you know, your internet provider has a DNS server, and when you play online or you do anything online, all your traffic is shoveled through the DNS server. And sometimes your ISPs, your internet service providers, don't exactly take care of their servers, their on-site servers. They're a lot of times like a rat's nest of Cat 6 cable and other shit. And sometimes when there's a problem, they won't even properly fix it. They'll just unplug a cable and put in a new patch cable. So a lot of times you'll have a lot of trash wiring in them that just causes other issues. And that's where you start switching over to different DNS servers that are published online, like Cloudflare, or even Google. And those DNS servers, obviously, they have a lot better upkeep and a lot bigger budget for that upkeep. And a lot of times they can actually improve your connectivity to some of these online games by just switching over to a better DNS server.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever played GTA 5 when it came out, but that just brought me back to you could change your DNS type on your Xbox 360. I think you could do it on PS3 too. But you could do it to like somebody's private like DNS they set up like out of their house.
Yeah.
And you could get like 10,000% like money drops from missions and stuff. That's a crazy
Oh my
one.
God.
Yeah, that was nuts. I don't know if anyone ever did that, but that was so fun.
Yeah, back in the day, people would really set up their own private servers. The funny part is, on the background of Xbox, there's an app you can download where you can actually buy servers or rent server space and actually have your friends play like private matches and stuff on like your own personal servers. And yeah, that's where the DNS gets into it. Is you basically go in and you update your Mac IDs and you start inputting in your new DNS settings, and you'll connect into these private servers. And that's where it's a total different world, because yeah, I know some of these guys, like with Grand Theft Auto on their servers, they were like having full blown like cinematic shit that would take place with Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, we have a lot of that because we got
like they turned Grand Theft Auto into like full blown role playing.
Yeah, I forgot what that's called, but yeah, I think Rockstar actually bought that little company, or you know whoever was doing the role play stuff. I think they actually bought them out.
I know they bought out some of the bigger ones, but when the smaller guys were basically sent like cease and desist because I guess Rockstar all of a sudden took offense to them modding the game.
Yeah.
And Mr. Glass is over here showing off in the chat. He says he's almost an Onyx general. Man, yeah, you've definitely put some work into that game. I think the highest I've ever gotten at any, it was like Halo 3. I got up to like a 2-bar lieutenant.
I think Halo Reach is the one I really went in on. I never really played any Halo though.
Whoa. Let me see. I have something in here to. Oh, right here. Right here. Here's the article. This is going to go into like, so if everybody really wants to understand, you know, why is it Xbox is making everything an Xbox? So I think Xbox is ahead of the curve on this one. Again, we all remember when Xbox was ahead of the curve on the idea of all digital games, DRM, and the idea of like, you know, Connect. Like I remember when everybody was like, oh my God, why would you want to have a microphone in your house that could listen to you? Hey Siri, can you tell me what's going on outside? Hey Alexa, can you please order me more Tide Pods? Like, I mean, Xbox was a little bit ahead of the curve on some of that stuff. And that's where like, they always kind of like get themselves in those situations. Like look at Game Pass, look at game streaming, look at DRM, look at all the stuff that Xbox has tried to be the first one to come out with, and everybody's like, why are you doing that? Now all of a sudden it's like business as usual. But for whatever reason, Xbox is never looked at as like this innovative company. They're always looked like the asshole that tried to do A, B, and C. But, you know, so in my opinion, there was two reasons for like everything to become an Xbox. And this is why I say everything's ahead of the curve. So let's look at what just recently happened. So Remedy Entertainment shared specific sales targets for achieving a 100% return investment or ROI for two upcoming games, Control 2 and FBC Firebreak. These figures highlight the financial realities of game development and the studio's effort to balance budgets with realistic lifetime sale projections. So let's talk about FBC Firebreak. The budget for this game comes in somewhere around $31.7 million for the budget for the development of this game. Does anybody want to take a stab at how many games they would have to sell to break even?
I'm going to say 20 million.
Okay, that was a little high, but
Well, how much is the game? Is it $60, $70, or what?
it's not telling me what the actual game is going to cost. Let me see. Are they, because I have like my notes, but did they really get into like, you know what? Let's see. FBC Firebreak. Let's see if it pops up on Google and will give me a price. No.
Well, let's put it this way: 1,000 is only 60,000, even if the game's $60.
So on Steam,
multiply that.
So like 3 million or something. I think
it's only
it's gonna be something crazy.
It says on Steam planned release date 2025, and it's only able to be wish list. So let's say $40 to $70 because it is a multiplayer game. Let's just say $40 to $70. So
I think realistically, I'll say like maybe 3 million.
And you hit it right on the head. 3 million copies over its lifetime to achieve a 100% return on investment. In other words, to break even, 3 million copies. The game is The game is going to launch on Xbox Game Pass and PS Plus Extra. And that's where, so they're obviously going to get some money back for putting it into those services. But also we know there's going to be microtransactions. So that's where I think they're trying to achieve 3 million sales over the lifetime of the game. But I know they're hoping that all that Game Pass and PS Plus money plus the money that they make off of microtransactions is going to be the gravy on top of this whole situation. So now Control 2 has a budget of $52.9 million, and it says that they're requiring sales of up to 4 million copies to be able to get a return on investment of that. And they're saying that its predecessor Control, the first Control game, sold over 4.5 million copies and reached 19 million players via subscription services. Currently, Alan Wake 2 sold 1.8 million copies, but has not yet turned a profit. It's close. They even hyphen that. They're like, it's close. Remedy remains independent despite financial challenges, recently securing an over $15 million loan from Tencent for self-publishing efforts. Damn, talk about getting in bed with that loan shark. You know, Tencent's like, if you flunk on this loan,
we skin you alive.
No, they're like, we own you.
Yeah.
We'll come out and we'll stake a flag right in the front yard. Tencent.
Yeah, for real.
So
didn't they make Max Payne or?
Yeah, and that's where they're even saying that apparently that supposedly some of the future projects for Remedy are remakes of Max Payne 1 and 2 for Rockstar Games. Huh. So obviously Remedy is making some big moves when it comes to what they're going to do to try to obviously cover this $15 million loan, make some money. but also they're giving people a little bit of a snapshot, a glimpse of, look at just the ballooning development costs for some of these games. And some of these titles are, like we saw, like, with Control 2, almost $53 million. But now let's look at games like, like Destiny, Call of Duty. Let's also look at games like, hell, we'll even throw God of War, Halo into the mix. Some of these games go way beyond that $50 million mark. Like, look at, like, how much money did they spend on Red Dead Redemption 2?
Oh, dude, wasn't that like that was like in the hundreds of millions?
According to according to this, analyst estimations place the game's development budget between 170 and 240 million dollars. And its marketing budget was between 200 and 300 million. So if we combine those two totals, we're at 370 million to 540 million dollars.
I think they doubled it though.
I'm pretty sure they did. But like, a lot of people don't realize you have development costs, then you have marketing costs, which are two total different monsters. And like, I mean, like, if you really think about it, like, if there is potential that Red Dead Redemption 2 costs $500 million, but final price tag. Can we all kind of understand why now some of these companies are deciding to go and do the multi-platform approach? It has nothing to do with pissing off gamers. It has nothing to do with fucking over consumers. It has to do with, because of the
making
cost,
money.
Or just a return on investment, just the break even.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so like, let's look at it from that perspective. I'm just saying that I think Xbox is a little ahead of the curve, because they're not over here like PlayStation, willing to money a couple $1 million for an exclusive skin or an exclusive game mode. They want to make money off of this software. They want to continue basically making money with the gaming division over at Microsoft, which is called Xbox. And so therefore they're kind of making adjustments to strategy to increase the longevity of this software and the reach of this software and the money-making potential that it has. So that way they don't have to feel like investments aren't getting much of a return. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Jacob?
I think you know my stance on it. I think
I know Jacob's over here with the middle finger up to the corporos, like, I don't care.
Pretty much. I mean, in my head, it's just like, okay, cool. You spent a couple $100 million on your game. Why is that my problem?
I would have to say it's not your problem, but you are at least open to the idea that, okay, cool. 6 months, 12 months exclusivity for blah, 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 but multi-platform that shit because I want to play it. But also by multi-platforming it means that more people are going to be able to purchase it. More people are going to be able to interact with it, which means more potential for success.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, like, if you have the marketing in the beginning, you've marketed your game, you got whatever return you got from your preferred console release, then it'll hit YouTube and kind of like double your advertising, I feel like.
Right.
Because like most of the games I see, I don't see them on Steam, or like I don't see them anywhere. I see them on YouTube and then I go buy it.
Well,
like 90% of the games I play.
Look at Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. We're not going to talk about the controversy that was where that developer came out and actually apologized for the game being a 1-year exclusive. I'm just talking about my experiences, that I knew that game was exclusive to Xbox. And I remember being in Best Buy buying it, and the guy behind the counter selling it to me was like, oh yeah, I really want to play this, but I'm going to wait for it to come out on PlayStation. So whatever money Microsoft Xbox spent to make that exclusive for a year did not work on that guy. How many people made that decision where they were willing to wait? And that's where, when you really look at, I'm forking out X amount of dollars for blah, and I'm not really seeing the return on investment that I'm looking for. But if I do this instead, I see a way better, more positive return on my investment. And like that makes it to where Xbox stays flexible on the games that they create, the games that they release, and the freedom that they allow developers to have a little bit more flexibility in being able to make games that appeal to that developer. And that's where, you know, I just feel that maybe Xbox is once again a little bit ahead of the curve. And this isn't for me trying to shill out like, oh, Xbox, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. This is just me just trying to point out that there is a logical train of thought that somebody could have that would show why Xbox is doing this. And I don't think it's because they're just like the corporate overlords that just don't give a shit about the consumer. I think they're trying to balance appeasing the consumer, but also at the same time continuing to invest in something that we all enjoy and love and don't want to see it disappear.
Yeah.
And that's where, okay, so Mr. Glass came in. Do you remember the Google House where you could, do you remember the Google House where the counter, the fridge, the mirror were all your screens that you get your emails, etc. on? Oh my God, I'd hate life.
Like Windows 2001 or something. Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe.
It was like yeah, if he's talking about a Windows thing, I definitely remember that.
And then Pyro came in with a good joke saying Concord would have to need to sell there went a thing of batteries. Concord would have needed to sell 70 million copies to cover its development costs of 400 million and 150 million in marketing. Holy yeah.
That game was $400 million.
I guess Sony lost a light. Okay, there we go. Let's see.
Hang on, that game spent as much as Red Dead Redemption 2.
The initial development cost for Concord was just over 2 million. But according to something on Reddit, the total budget as of launch was 400 million. Investors, fuck if I know, man.
That is insane. I thought it was like 40 million or something. I did not know it was that bad. That is insane. I gotta look this up.
He's like, I gotta look it up. There's no way.
$400 million. Yeah, this is like news to me, dude. That is insane.
Yeah, well, that's damn. And me and Mickey still stand by. They didn't even give that game a snowball's chance in hell. They should at least try.
Didn't even give it a chance. They were like 1 week. They're like, our Phil says a couple weeks.
It was like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
They were like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of it. I'm like, geez, criminy, dude, give it a chance.
Dude, like, look at other games that have really made a turnaround. Like, I mean, No Man's Sky,
man.
Sea of
That's
Thieves wasn't the game that it is today back when it was first launched. Like, I mean, like, dude, like
Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk. I mean, like, yeah, give it a damn shot.
Yeah, Comeback King of the Century. Dude, I was a day one No Man's Sky player. That was a fucking terrible experience.
Was it in the beginning?
Oh, dude, they were thrown under the bus by PlayStation. They really were.
Dude, I felt like, so I was watching the game like for probably like a year and a half or something like that. And then they finally like announced their release date at E3 or something like that. And then I think after that they had like all of their computers get wiped away in a flood. So it had to get delayed or something like that, if I remember correctly. And then it finally came out. I was so hyped. I think I was like probably 12 years old. And I played it, and my very first experience was you have to like get all your like your ship crash, and you got to go get the components to rebuild it and get off the planet. My very first experience was I'm on the planet, I look around, I go to take my first step, and I fall through the entire planet, and I just continue to fall into space.
Well, he got off the planet.
Yeah, I got off the planet real quick. And then I just every time I logged in, I was just falling through the fucking void, dude. So I just could not play. And I was so hyped for that game.
So I'll say it right now. I bought that game when it came to Xbox, but I had been keeping an eye on it, and I knew that developer gave a shit, and that guy worked night and day, fought tooth and nail to regain trust with the community, and now the community that follows that game, like, I mean, that shows you how, you know, you can stumble and fall on a game launch, but if you stick with it, you can really succeed. And they are now a night and day difference. They've had huge expansions on that game. And yeah, like Sony used them in a period of time when Sony didn't have much for the PlayStation. And they were over here promising the world, like PlayStation was promising the world like this mathematically generated universe. Not all the planets were the same, blah, blah, blah. And then then Sony basically was like, no, you're releasing the game. And they released the game in such a horrible state that they thought the developer was just like, this, like trash developer that just didn't give a shit. And then like when things started kind of coming together, they were like, oh my God, this dude didn't have a lot of money to make this game. And he got in bed with Sony and he kind of got thrown under the bus, but he stuck with it. And now that dude is like, you could just see the passion he has as a developer when you go in and play No Man's Sky.
Yeah, they're actually coming out with a new game too. I don't know if you've seen it. It looks pretty similar to No Man's Sky, but it looks interesting.
So Mr. Glass came in saying apparently Microsoft has 20 billion franchises. Yeah, well, I mean, Microsoft they technically have a lot of games under their umbrella. And then of course, Pyro Mad comes in with the horse armor joke. Does everybody remember the Bethesda horse armor?
Yeah, was that Oblivion?
That was for Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Yeah, I do remember.
Remember that
one.
Mickey?
It
was the first DLC where you could buy armor for your horse, and it was like giving you if you bought this armor, like it was like one of those things where you had like an armored advantage all of a sudden on your horse. It was like one of the first ever like microtransactions, and people, I mean, it was definitely it was like the what the fuck of like the Xbox 360 era when that horse armor came out. People were like, wait a minute, they're going to release, wait a minute, this is real? People can do cosmetic changes? Because back it used to be like, like expansions and game mods, but now all of a sudden it's like a cosmetic horse armor? What?
Yeah, and it's
what is this witchcraft?
It's like it's in a single player game. That was like the big thing.
Yep.
Yeah, here you could. It's like World of Warcraft, but it's in our single player game. Here you go. You could buy a mount, but it's only a single player game.
I do that shit all the time in Elder Scrolls Online.
It's not single player though.
I've bought a mount skin in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, see, that's where I draw the line. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not paying for nothing, and I
wanted my horse to look like a demon.
You gotta make a crazy argument for buying microtransactions in a single player game. That is nuts. In my head,
I wanted to look like a demonic god.
Dude, you get on PC and you can mod it.
Oh my God, here we go. Here we go.
Touche, sir. Touche.
Mr. Glass points out that Sea of Thieves is on its 14th season. Mickey was playing that the other night, and he made me want to download it because that single player mode now. Do you know that about that, Jacob? That now Sea of Thieves has a single player, has a mode where it's like you could have your own private world with like up to 4 of your friends. And you don't got to worry about people coming in and trying to be pirates.
Oh, and try-harding on you like Summit 1G that fucking does it for a living 16 hours a day? Hell yeah.
Who?
He's a streamer. He's like, I think that game
Summit?
is, yes, Summit 1G is like one of the old CS.
Oh, yeah.
CS streamers, like original, like CS, I think CS 1.6, but that's besides the fact. I think that game was actually like carried, kind of the community was carried by like large streamers. That's why it's still a thing. If I'm right about that, I have no idea. But...
Yeah, Summit, Ninja, freaking
Oh my God, Ninja.
Who's the other one? I think I don't know if Doctor Disrespect played that, but
I think he might have
there's
played
also
it.
there's
There's
another
one
one.
more
Who's
dude.
the other guy? Yeah,
He's another Fortnite guy, Dr. Lupo or something, or I think he played it
I'm
too. I don't know.
I'm thinking of somebody. Oh, Shroud.
Oh, Shroud. Yeah. How did I forget him? Yeah, him and Summit were like the biggest ones. I think Dr. Lupo plays with Summit too and stuff like that. But yeah, I
Yep.
mean, I played that game at launch too, and I didn't really like it.
It's a total night and day difference now compared to what was there at launch. But that's where we were just talking, like using it as a good example with Concord on, dude, if you want a game to succeed, sometimes you don't knock it out of the, like, look at Fortnite. Does anybody remember what the first iteration of Fortnite was?
Yeah, because I wish listed it. It was Save the World edition
Yeah,
that they
I own it.
back fucking burnered. Yeah, me too. I used to play that.
I've played the save. I have played the original Fortnite before
Yeah.
this Battle Royale mod.
Yeah, and that was the original game, dude. The original game was marketed, and I was like, "Oh, that looks sick." And then I heard about the Battle Royale, and I was like, "I'm not going to play that." Played it for like probably 3 years after I think the first year. So I think I got in at like season 3 or 4 or something like that. But yeah, I remember wanting to save the world, dude. That looked crazy to me, and everyone in my Discord was like, "Oh, we're gonna get this," and then no one ever played it because fucking the Battle Royale took it over.
I know.
I'm the only one who bought it.
So, Pyro kind of answers your question a little bit. He's saying that Sony bought the Studio Haven, which did Concord, and they restarted development about 3 times from scratch. So those costs pile up.
That's insane. The whole thing for that game was like a Destiny developer made it, right? Or is that something else? If I remember.
Haven, oh my God, now you're going to be like, now we're going down the fucking.
Well, because in my head, I see I didn't even know about Concord until it already died, and then I'm looking at it on the Steam page.
Firewalk Studios.
And I'm just like, is this just like a Destiny ripoff? And then someone told me, yeah.
Overwatch. It's kind of like an Overwatch reflection. Is what it was.
Well, I'm seeing they have like basically, so if you ever played Destiny Crucible, well, you don't have to play Crucible, but like the hand cannons.
According to fandom, the studio Concord was done by Firewalk Studios, and the studio's first game was Concord.
Yeah,
and they were shut.
Oh, that's not a good start.
They were shut down.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I think the lead dev was a Destiny like de facto or something.
Wow,
something like that.
Still, they still didn't give it a chance to.
No, I know.
Oh, no. 2 weeks, dude.
I mean, come on,
it. Straight shit canned it.
Mr. Glass says
so bad.
Mr. Glass says Deviation Games was going to be the Call of Duty killer for PlayStation, but they closed that studio. Dude, I think it's interesting that both PlayStation and Xbox are you can find evidence on both sides that these companies shut down studios, but for whatever reason, Xbox has the moniker of acquire and fire. So, like, I'm just kind of like
EA is the worst, really. I think they have the moniker of that, right? I mean,
well, EA
they used to buy up everything.
So they used to buy up everything, but I remember one of my first videos back in 2019 was we all remember, like, who owns BioWare? EA. What is one of BioWare's most famous games? Mass Effect. What is the main enemy in a Mass Effect game? The Reapers. What do the Reapers do? They invade a planet, strip it of all its resources, and then leave the shell of that planet for everybody to die. So I actually said that EA were the Reapers of the game industry.
Yeah, dude.
That was one of my first videos. You can look it up.
Yeah. Man, dude. Pandemic and dude, everybody. Lucas, dude, they had Lucas Arts. Shit, who else? BioWare, obviously. Who were the ones?
Oh, they didn't have LucasArts. They had Visceral Games, which was working on a
Visceral, Visceral.
which was working on a game for LucasArts, which was a Star Wars, like Star Wars. It had numbers in it, and it was a game that was being done by Amy Hennig over at Visceral Games, and they shut down Visceral Games and basically canned every Star Wars game that was supposed to be a single player experience. And the entire time EA had lucrative rights for Star Wars, you got these half-assed Battlefront games. But I enjoyed the shit out of Battlefront, the first Battlefront game that came out under EA on the Xbox One. I also enjoyed Battlefront 2, even though it did turn into a pay-to-win debacle at the beginning, but they really turned that around. Me and Mickey play the Battlefront 2 co-op all the damn time. But it's like the only single player experiences we really got to eat out of EA that are noteworthy is the Jedi Survivor series. And I also think they did Star Wars Squadrons, which was, for some people that was not their cup of tea. I enjoyed it, but like the only real notable single player experience that EA ever did while they had the lucrative rights for Star Wars was the Star Wars Survivor series.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting it back, right? Like they kind of pulled it away because they didn't make any money.
Yeah, that's how we ended up getting Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh yeah, because what was that, Ubisoft?
Yep, that was Ubisoft. Dark Child comes in saying, "Hey Xbox fam, sorry I haven't been on in a while. Great to be back. Don't feel bad, Dark Child. I stuck my hand over here in Jacob's welding glove, and then all of a sudden I get freaking fucking wake up with some.
If it makes you feel any better, I just made out with my girlfriend, and then she told me she was sick right after. So if that helps you."
Well, I had to reveal it to my wife when she's like drinking on my Coke Zero the night before, and then I wake up the next morning with like all jacked up with like schmegma everywhere, and I'm just like, and I'm just like, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna stay away from you," and I'm like, "You were like sipping on my Coke Zero last night," and that's when she's like, "Oh my god, I was."
Yeah, you're done.
You're done.
You're done. But yeah. Well. Oh, dude. Yeah, EA. Fuck, dude. They had Visceral. I love Dead Space. Favorite game of all time.
Yeah, Dead Space, dude. But did you play the Callisto Protocol?
I played some of it.
I actually played it and beat it. But I know I played it and beat it. I actually cranked that game out in probably like 2 or 3 nights. I was actually shocked on how short it was. And I mean, you could see like their obsession with like their mechanics from Dead Space. They were like, we really want to reuse this mechanic. And it's just like, guys, I'm sorry, but
they should have. Sorry to cut you off, but like,
no, you're good.
I can get into this all day long, dude. Dead Space was great because you're an engineer, you're like a nerd, and you're like killing fucking monsters. Like the badasses in the game weren't really the guy you were playing. It was like the first of all, the woman character you found, I think it was Ellie. She was like the badass. She's like a fucking FBI agent, or not really, but she's on like a tactical squad and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like they should have taken elements like that.
She was one of the mercenaries that were supposed to escort you to get the ship going again.
Yeah, because you find her halfway through the game. I like stuff like that. Like in the Callisto Protocol, when I'm playing it, it's like my guy is just a badass. Like that's what it feels like.
I shanked 20 people.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the dude has no, like, I mean, he has reactions, but it's like he looks like a 6'2" towering like Giga Chad, like not like a nerdy engineer guy who's like he's just like, I want to go see my girlfriend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what made Dead Space 2 scary. I feel like you're just like, oh, okay, I'm just an engineer guy. I'm just gonna go see what this going on this ship, and then it's like, okay, yeah, you're cut off from your guys. Okay, that's kind of scary. Okay, yeah, what was that bump? Oh, okay. This guy just went into the ceiling. There's a pile of blood. All right, yeah, okay, I didn't sign up for this. I have only a flashlight. That's what made it great.
What made me really kind of like go like, all right, what the hell is this on the Callisto Protocol? So in Dead Space, when there's that one monster that you see multiple times that chases you around the ship.
Yeah.
There's a valid reason why he does that. In the Callisto Protocol, you would kill the boss every time, and another one just like him would show up later on. You actually would kill, I think, the same boss creature like 8 times in the game, and it wasn't the same creature. It was just like, if these are random mutations, why is this happening?
Are you talking about in Dead Space or the Callisto Protocol?
Callisto Protocol. There was no rhyme or reason why the same creatures were showing up. It was like there was
Dead Space, it was actually in the lore.
Yes.
Yeah, because they were. Well, I like I said, I don't know that much about Callisto, but in Dead Space they were the Scientologists or whatever, the Unitologists. They were creating them in labs and shit.
And then it was like, what really pissed me off is, so there was a strategy to the fighting, right? The very last boss of Callisto Protocol, it was like, oh yeah, we got rid of all of our aspirations of a strategized style fight. It's just gonna turn into a complete shit show with the difficulty all of a sudden dialed way up, and we're just gonna throw everything at you in the kitchen sink. And at this point, you need to have a luck factor to basically pull off the boss fight. It took me like an hour of playing the boss on I guess I played the game on medium difficulty unintentionally. I had no idea. I thought I was playing it on normal, and yeah, I was completely shocked where most people were like, yeah, I played it on like the easier setting. And I'm like, well, I was able to do it. It took a while, but I was able to get it on one of the harder difficulties.
Yeah, I still need to play it, but...
So...
What about Mickey, you ever play that?
Mickey, did you play Callisto?
No.
Okay.
What about Dead Space?
Not yet. I do have it downloaded on my Xbox, but I haven't played it yet.
Which one? The remaster? Or?
Yeah, the remaster.
Any of them.
The remaster.
Oh, what I have downloaded? Yeah, I think so.
I actually own all the original plus the remaster.
I started playing Mass Effect the other night because I played it a little bit. So,
dude,
that's one I want to play and check out too.
If you can make it past the first game, the second game gets better, and the third one really caps it off quite well. The first game was totally different than the last 2 games because it was like they didn't know what direction they were going to go, and then they finally really found a stride on the second game.
What about the isn't there another one?
Andromeda.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Andromeda. I was pissed off how they canned that game.
That was like I never played it, but I remember that was one of them games where everybody hated it.
Yep, along with over facial animations. They just don't look right, and they stick their teeth out. Oh, you mean like Horizon Zero Dawn? I was so pissed off because I was playing Mass Effect Andromeda at the same time I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and they had all the same facial animation bullshit, but apparently one company got a pass and the other company, it was like burned at the stake.
Oh, yeah.
So, but Pyro came in and he said ex-Destiny 1 devs were a large part of Haven Studios, and then he says, sorry, yes, Firewalk, not Haven. That's my bad. Haven is Jade Raymond's new studio. I conflated the 2 acquisitions. And Darkchild comes in saying he misses the pandemic, the OG Star Wars Battlefront goats. Dude, my favorite mode is on at least the Battlefront that came out during the Xbox One with Walker Assault. That was a fun mode.
Walker Assault is nice. Is he talking about the older ones?
I think he's talking about the OG ones. Like I like the OG, like the original Battlefront 1 and 2 for like the original Xbox. I actually bought the remakes, or I'm sorry, the remasters.
By EA, right? Those are the ones.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, the originals are great, dude. Oh.
So Pyro came in saying that the Star Wars game that we couldn't name from Visceral was Star Wars 1313, named after the floor of Coruscant. Playing as a bounty hunter in the lower levels of the planet. Hey, that's kind of like reminiscent of like Bounty Hunter. And Dark huh?
I was just gonna say that's a fantastic idea for a Star Wars game.
Really is, honestly.
I feel like all the Star Wars games that come out or like the movies are just like rehashed, kind of just trying to follow the original trilogy in a different.
Well,
hey Jacob, have you played the one that's on PC?
oh
which
boy.
one?
Star Wars.
The Old Republic.
The
Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, like Knights of the Old Republic, like the old ones.
No, the MMO,
No.
the Old Republic.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the
Old
MMO.
Republic. No, actually, you know what? I've seen it, but I haven't played it.
I've thought
So
about it.
that one you can actually be a a lightsaber wielder or like a Boba Fett or whatever. So you can actually kind of pick what you want to do. It's actually pretty cool. That game is
that's
actually
sick.
pretty awesome. And I wish they would put something like that on console. Actually,
It isn't on console. It's weird.
no. So and here, this is me speaking for Jacob. It's only on PC.
It's PC exclusive. Don't even look it up.
PC exclusive.
PC exclusive. Yeah.
Don't even waste your breath.
We need
Don't
to
even
have
waste your finger typing.
we need to have Jacob's low baritone voice come in like they do on like the E3s, and we're just gonna start putting it on a hotkey. PC exclusive.
On a soundboard or
It's
something.
on a soundboard, and it just hit the wait. PC exclusive.
Yeah, that's a great one. Did you guys ever play the original Destiny?
I played it. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
Oh, dude, loved that game.
That was fun.
I actually enjoyed it. I know the new player onboarding process is way better than the onboarding process that they have now for fucking Destiny 2. I fell out of love with Destiny 2, and the sad part is I have all the expansions all the way up to the Witch Queen, and I still have yet to play past Moonfall.
I haven't done a single boss in Destiny 2.
Oh god.
They killed that shit, dude.
We I think we try I don't know if it was with you, Phil, but we tried one boss or doing one one of the dungeons or whatever, and it was a shit show.
Oh, yeah, I know. People were screaming at each other. So Jacob, we're over here trying to do the raid, and one of the guys that are in our that joined our group knew how to do the raid, and they're like we're kind of getting it, but there's other people that are part of the group that don't understand that you got to stand on these pads and shoot these orbs and do this, that, and the other. And literally people are starting to scream at each other, like, fucking stand on this and don't move. And you're just like, wow, calm down, bro.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. I used to love the toxicity in the original Vault of Glass when no one knew how to do it. It's like, dude, that is so crazy to even think about. Back in the day when the YouTubers are doing the first run ever to get to the end loot, the first ones. Oh man, and then you and your friends are trying to do it and you have no idea what's going on. Everyone's screaming at each other. So fun. And then you got your friends that you don't know, and then you guys get right, and it's just that shit is so entertaining,
dude. That's what it was like. The guy that was freaking out was friend of a friend, and he's trying to show, and it's just all right, who brought the hostile guy?
Dude, I love that shit. It's so funny.
Dark Child said, I love the Mass Effect series. The multiplayer for Mass Effect 3 is GOAT. If you haven't played it, you need to. Servers are still active. Dude, I played the shit out of Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. My favorite character was the one that had the whips on the end of her arms. I played the crap out of that. If those servers are still, is that Mass Effect Legendary or the original Mass Effect 360? I'm pretty sure it's probably Legendary because I know a lot of the 360 shit is turned off. And then he also says, I only played the Battlefront series on PC. Hey, look, there you go, Jacob.
There you go. All right. The originals are great too. I mean, if you can get through the loading screens, they're still fun. Just to play against bots. I still do it today, every couple months.
Oh, I don't got I play on my Xbox Series X. They load pretty damn quick.
No, I'm saying it's a hard cutscene. When it's a hard loading screen. If you ever played it, you'll understand. Play it right now. You'll see it's probably 300 megabytes.
God, that was the day when a game was 300 megabytes.
Oh, dude, so sick.
Mickey, what's her face at work, Sloan asked me and Jacob today, which Xbox should I get? Which Xbox Series S should I get my husband? Should I get him a 512 or a 1 terabyte? He's gonna play Call of Duty. Both me and Jacob at the same time were like, get the 1 terabyte.
Yeah, well, that was my first question. My first question was, is he like a Call of Duty guy? Well, he's gonna be playing with his 30-year-old son. Yeah, terabyte. Yep.
Oh wow, I didn't know that, Dark Child. Well, thank you for letting me know that. So it's on the original Xbox 360. Okay, I'll have to re-download it because I enjoyed the shit out of the multiplayer for that. That was all like squad PvE horde. That was a lot of fun.
The Mass Effect one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You ever played the Dead Space? Oh, I guess you never played Dead Space 2. Dude, if anyone's played the Dead Space 2 multiplayer, holy shit, dude. That's one of my favorite multiplayer games ever.
Wow, Dark Child is saying that it's like one of the only 360 games that are still active on multiplayer. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's like backwards compatibility or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I know I know it's backwards compatible. So, and even if like I have an Xbox 360 here, but I know it's backwards compatible because I own them digitally. I played them for the longest time, and then all of a sudden the Legendary Edition came out, and I was like, yes, finally. I was so excited. I remember the petitions back in the day when they were like, remaster the Mass Effect series and blah, 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 and finally it happened.
I love the backwards compatible stuff.
He says he still does it up to 4 times a year. And yeah, he also said yes. I think he's saying yes to backwards compatibility.
Oh, okay, yeah. I do like that stuff with the Xbox. All that, it's basically like emulating a 360 on your console. It's like a little bit of like PC.
When you start the game, it actually shows the original Xbox 360 startup animation.
Yeah, I was just doing it the other day for when I missed work, my family was over. I actually pulled out the Xbox and I was like, you can play Skate 3 on this thing, and then I did it, and it like brings up the old Xbox menu. I was like, whoa, that is nuts.
When you pulled it out, did you have to blow the dust off of it like an Indiana Jones archaeological find?
Yeah, I did, along with the Switch that it was on top of it with not even equal to, it was definitely a greater amount of dust on top of that thing.
God. Well, it's good to know we all have Switches here. My wife actually started playing the new Zelda game on her Switch. I was actually shocked. I bought it for myself to check it out, and it was just sitting on. All of a sudden, I'm like playing a video. I'm playing on my Xbox, and all of a sudden I hear my wife playing something, and I'm like, that doesn't fucking sound like Animal Crossing. And she's like, yeah, I opened your Zelda game. I wanted to check it out. And she's like playing it, and I'm like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this to happen. You put down Animal Crossing?
She's evolving. That's like
oh my God,
girlfriend.
I don't know what I would do if one day I come home and she's like totally rocking it on Call of Duty. And she's like, yeah, I just whooped some dude's ass. Freaking totally rocked that entire freaking room.
Yeah,
like I teabagged him like multiple times.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. All of a sudden she's like, yeah, I just got an email. Apparently they want me to go on to some pro league. What? The fuck?
This Omni movement is real nice. It feels good.
She's coming at me about frame rates. I really want to get up to 120 frames a second. Oh, well, let me bring Jacob over. We'll have to build a new rig.
The 2080 can do that, probably. Not on the new one, but, like Black Ops 3, maybe.
Oh, man. So Darkchild also says he does a lot of Dragon Age Inquisition multiplayer. I completely forgot that game had multiplayer.
I tried to play that game and I just could not.
Did you play the Veilguard?
No.
Me and Mickey are playing the Veilguard. I'm having fun with it.
Is that the one everyone's saying was woke and all that? Or?
Dude, to me anymore, I just laugh at that whole conversation because I'm like, whatever. To me, it's like, yeah, you could just tell, like, yeah, it's a different style of storytelling, but I mean, dude, like, I know it got snubbed at the Game Awards. People were, I know, at least BioWare was hoping for a little bit more reception at the Game Awards with the Veilguard, but I'm one of those that was just like, you know, what happened back in the day when people of color like were supposed to be like eating in different restaurants and riding in different parts of the bus and all this other stuff, and like they were appearing on television singing music. Like is that, you know, back in that day they were like, oh, that's revolutionary. They're really pushing the envelope and creating it to where other people can feel like they're having equal presence in this world. But nowadays, if somebody's in a game that has like a minority or something like that, it automatically goes down the realm of woke. And I'm just like, man, you know, I'm sorry, but the entertainment industry has always been trying to push the envelopes of inclusivity. And like all of a sudden, because of just certain things that have happened politically and other stuff, it's like now turned into this giant debacle of like people now are just like basically everything's getting labeled this and that. And I'm just like, dude, I haven't seen nothing in the game that feels like a political agenda is being pushed on me. Where when I played Sandland, I felt like I was constantly reminded that I should be playing video games less because of where that game came from.
10 cent. No, I'm just playing.
Bandai Konami, but it still came from that part of the world where if you're under the age of 18, you're only allowed to play video games for so many hours.
3 hours a week.
Yeah, otherwise it becomes a crime.
Otherwise, it becomes a power problem, and the coal plant can't produce enough electricity for your Xbox.
Wow, that's messed up, dude.
That's a real problem. Seriously, they were saying that video games are like shutting down the coal plants. There's so many Chinese people playing it. Serious shit. I'm serious. You can look it up. I'm not fucking around.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. I haven't seen that one, but I know you spend a lot more time like surfing like different alleys you go down different streets on the internet than I do.
Oh yeah, I bet our YouTube recommendeds would be an amazing collaborative effort to looking at what's on there.
Like guys, like so the manager of the business that we work at came at me about 3 weeks ago asking, "Hey, do you recognize this charge on the shop's credit card?" No, I don't. And I go and look the company up online, and I'm like, oh. And I holler at Jacob across the hall, and I'm like, Jacob, have you ever heard of this company? As soon as I said the name, he's like, oh yeah, that's a company that charges people for porn sites. Like he didn't even take a breath to say this. It was like on the tip of his tongue. It was just like, oh yeah, that's the company that charges people for porn sites. So apparently somebody had started charging porn on the company credit card. And of course, we're the ones that have to reveal it to our boss. And now she has to go hunt this down. But I just thought it was so funny that Jacob was like, oh yeah, I know exactly who that is.
Oh yeah. Certified Coomer. But no, the only reason I know who that is because my old job, which is actually hilarious.
Oh, they had that problem too?
No, it was actually at the Arizona Republic, right around like it's the paper district, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like on the machine with this guy. They'd kind of pair you up on the machines with like people you liked because a lot of fights would break out somehow. I have no idea.
Oh my God, that would be a great YouTube channel, Arizona Republic Brawls.
Dude, serious shit. Like, dude, this place, I got so many stories about this place, but they'd kind of pair you up with like who they saw you talking to and stuff like that. So I got paired up with this one dude. And like one day he's like, you ever heard of this company? I can't remember what it was at this point, but I'm like, no. He's all like, I got like a $1.99 charge. My dad called me and said, asked if I could use my credit card. I said, yeah, why not? He's like, I just got like $128 charge. And I was all like, oh, he's like we kind of just stood there for a second. I'm like, so what is it? He's like, it's fucking porn. And we just both die laughing, dude.
So let me get this straight. Your dad was broke,
yeah,
and he asked you for your card information to get a porn
Called him on the phone because I guess he goes,
I
yeah, it's
know.
like he's like, I just need something for like $1.99. He's like, it's on sale for $1.99. He didn't mention what it was, and he's like, yeah, why not? Whatever,
Yeah, $1.99
$1.99
for the free trial.
Yeah, and then it like auto renewed for like a year subscription or like a 6 month subscription or whatever it had, and it was like $129 or $28 or something like that. It was so funny. And this is a guy that had like 6 kids, and he was being like his wages were garnished and shit like that.
Huh.
So it's like, yeah, he just probably got his whole check taken out for his dad subscribing to fucking porn. So funny.
So Pyro says, I still play the original in Battlefront 2 every other month. I have one saved in Galactic Conquest that's 250 plus turns with 8 ships in orbit over the planets I control, not attempting to take new worlds. And okay, I've never played Galactic Conquest, but now I'm like, okay.
That's a good one. If you can play all that stuff that, it's like just slightly aged a little bit or the gameplay's slower and stuff, it's pretty fun.
But alrighty. Oh man. I guess we're at the 2-hour mark. Me and Mickey were talking earlier. It was like, well, you're still recovering. Maybe we should just do an hour and a half. But it's 11 o'clock here. It is officially 1 a.m. on the East Coast. So I guess we will let everybody get on and we will continue this conversation next week. It was actually fun having you here, Jacob.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
See, we're not over here like, oh my God, Xbox. It's like, nah, let's just have a real good, fun conversation about video games. We don't want to go down the road of like insulting people for where they choose to play their games or what they play. It's more like, hey, let's just celebrate this fun hobby that we call gaming and just really, just talk about the highs and lows and the fun that we have doing it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, Pyro, why pay for porn or OnlyFans? There is an infinite amount of porn for free. It's 6 a.m. here. And we thank you, sir, for listening to us.
6 a.m. Holy shit.
Damn.
Yeah, Dark Trial. Never mind. They're conversating with themselves. We're all talking about Battlefront.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's too funny.
I long to see like a EA type of polished, after it releases and all that, and then it's polished, but like one of those, big budget Star Wars games that is like an actual original story. I'm like just waiting for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Child says he wants to be on. Well, maybe one day you'll have to join us on Xbox and we'll all start chatting and we'll see about one day actually getting this into like more of an open forum where we just bring people in from the community and just have conversations. But we're always open on Xbox. As a matter of fact, I will admit it, for everybody that has been friending me on Xbox, I had no idea. I finally found that section on my dashboard where it was all like friend requests. And I'm like, since when did it become like Facebook? When the fuck did I have friend requests? And I noticed like some of them were like, like days old. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a dick. And I'm like, I think Dark Child was one of them. I'm like, oh my God, I know who he is. All right. So, all right. That's fun. I guess we'll start capping everything out. Mickey, thank you for obviously having the conversation tonight and always being here. Obviously, where can people find you at and all that good fun stuff?
Xbox under the name of Psychosemantic, SYKOSEMANTIC.
Just look for the Falling in Reverse logo.
That's correct. That is correct.
I love Falling in Reverse.
I think we all do here in this chat. Well, at least in this podcast, we're all listening. I mean, like, dude, I've been listening to Falling in Reverse for dude, since back in his days when you could like people insinuated that he was like a Green Day ripoff.
Yeah, I've been listening to him since Escape the Fate.
Yeah, Escape Fate.
Yeah.
I actually have only been listening to him for a little over a year.
Oh, really?
I just found him, yeah. And dude, Ronnie is a beast.
Yeah, he's great. I like
Yes.
his evolution. It's
Dude,
fantastic.
yeah, when you see the evolution of what he went through as a singer, I definitely love him as a singer. Definitely great band.
I listened to some of the older Falling in Reverse stuff, and it was pretty badass even then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like Drugs and those, those songs, those are freaking awesome.
All right, and Jacob, thank you for joining us, good sir. I know it was like kind of like spur of the moment where it was like 4:00 in the afternoon. We're all getting ready to leave work in an hour. I'm like, hey, you want to join us tonight? It'd be great. We're going to have this conversation on what is an Xbox.
What is an Xbox?
Because like we've been making what is an Xbox jokes at work all week.
Yeah, the only
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
everything.
go work on Excel on my Xbox.
My Samsung smart fridge is actually an Xbox.
But where can they find you at, good sir, for those who actually want to continue helping you hold down the PC Master Race, if you even want people to know where you're at?
Just Rifticle on Steam, RAFTACLE. Just like testicle, but with Rift in front of it.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I won't forget that one. But thank you, Dark Child and Pyro Mad. Yes, you guys are like members tonight. You guys have been in the chat very actively, and we really enjoy it. Thank you to everybody always for being here in the chat, like Mr. Glass. We also saw Sanchez Gaming. I know you guys were in the chat a lot, and I also believe like Icer Zero. There was also a guy named Mike. Adidas 20 was also here as well. A lot of zeros in the chat tonight. But yes, thank you to everybody that participated. Also, thank you to everybody that listens after the fact on the replay. Always feel free to leave a comment after the show. I do check them. I will say I respond to some of the more respectful ones. I generally don't try to feed into the guys that are like going out of their mind that apparently I'm not supposed to game on an Xbox, but like we said here, just play where you want, whatever you want, no matter what anybody says or how many times they want to let you know that it's a PC exclusive.
Well, pretty soon the guys who are mad about Xbox, the PS4 is going to be an Xbox here. I think in a couple months.
I know they're trying. I know like there was like documents that said Xbox was trying to see if you use the web browser on the PlayStation that you could play some of the game streaming games.
Well,
so
that's crazy.
They were trying to like I saw some documents. It's like, oh no, we'll make a workaround. We'll make sure it works.
See, I like sort of shit like that. That's cool.
Pyro says he knows it's Thursday, but have a great weekend, everyone. Yes. Have a
Yes,
great
sir.
weekend. Let's all get prepared for next week. Next week, we'll obviously discuss some of the stuff that we're probably going to buy when it comes to gaming, like some of the deals. Like, I mean, like just for a quick little like blurb, like for those here in the States, you could get like a Rogue Ally Extreme for like $500 when they're like normally like $700-800, right? Normal price. You could get one for $500. Xbox is currently doing their Black Friday sale on the Xbox store. And I know like around this time, both Steam and Epic do like a lot of giveaways and a lot of good sales on PC games. So it is definitely that time of the year for us to all start stockpiling games.
Oh yeah, Steam winter sale.
What'd you say, Steam what?
Steam winter sale, it's coming.
Oh, Steam winter sale?
Yeah.
Yep. And so I am Centurion 1307, aka Phil. You can always find me right here on this channel on YouTube. You can also always find me on Twitter, Xbox Live. There's even a Facebook account running around. Like if you go on my Twitter, you'll see a lot of my my tags for all my different accounts. I always look forward to seeing you guys here on Wednesdays. Sorry, I've been a little MIA with the whole sickness. My voice will probably be back next week. And so, yeah, definitely always come check out my content. I am also toying with the idea of getting back into doing content now that I've kind of like slowed down on some of the projects I had going here at home. So, and Mickey keeps pushing me. He's like, you should really start doing your own content again. I know, Mickey, I will. But all right. So till next time, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Always play what you want, where you want. And we look forward to seeing you around the community.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.